Missed 58 games with a broken left hand, and RJ, everyone, including LeBron, excited to see him back, and for good reason. Look at that pass.
Look, this man can do everything on the floor. The NBA has missed him. Fans have missed him. The casual basketball fans have missed him.
That was a left-handed behind-the-back pass to Andrew Wiggins, and then here he is. That's his first bucket, his first field goal in the second quarter.
Look, you were upset when people were talking about should he play. It's like, yes, he should play. Fans want to see this. Steph Curry is a unique player. He's one of them. That's the way the fans view him, so it's great when he's on the floor.
How much have we missed this? Just how about that moment?
No, I have not missed that. I have nightmares about that. That has affected my life.
The shot clock running out of 32-foot-3. Curry had 11 points at halftime. Third quarter, Warriors playing the Raptors, by the way, and down by 9. But it was Steph Curry who just would continue to put on a show last night. Watch him here.
Well, and again, he has, like, when we talked about what Dame Lillard was doing earlier in the season, just shooting from anywhere all the time, he was basically joining in what Steph has been doing for the last 5 years.
And look how much fun he's having doing it. He was counting out 4 because that was the 4-point play. Now here he is in the fourth quarter, finding his way to the hole. Steph Curry would finish with 23 points, 7 assists, played 27 minutes. But the team they played was good. He would keep them in it, but Pascal Siakam would find a way to win it. Siakam taking it to the hole. In the end, the Raptors win it, 121-113. But for everyone, great to have an NBA superstar back.
It felt great. It was a lot of energy, just anticipation for tonight, just getting back out there on the floor, just seeing what was going to happen. They didn't really know what to expect, how to handle like the minute restriction and all that. But throughout the 27 minutes, I felt good, so I'm excited to be back out there.
I thought he looked great. He moved well. To me, it feels like, it's on again. We're now through the woods. We can start looking ahead and using these games to prepare ourselves for trying to reach a higher level of play.
Look, it did not take Steph long to go back to being Steph. Last night he attempted 6 threes from 30 feet away. That was tied for the most such attempts in his career.
Let's get to the Rockets and the Clippers. Rockets putting that micro ball to the test against the Clippers at home. And the Rockets would struggle from a fashion sense, if you ask me. But anyway, more on that later.
I think that was the only place they won.
Yeah, well, it's depending on how you look at it, if they won or not. They were struggling to shoot, though, and it continued to be a story throughout the first half, RJ.
Well, my thing is this. Look, the Golden State Warriors changed the game with the way they use threes, but unless you have the Golden State Warriors, you can't just shoot 20 threes and miss all of them.
Yeah.
That is not a formula for winning basketball.
That's the face your coach makes when you miss 20 straight threes. Clippers up by 21, and Kawhi, just watch him right here.
Look at that. That's just a grown man, and he puts him through. If you don't have rim protection, if you want to play small ball, the Clippers have the most talented small ball lineup in the league. You can't beat them playing their game, in my opinion. And that's not even a game they want to play. It's just one of their options.
You saw Zubac there finishing strong. He had 17 points and 12 rebounds. The Rockets are down by 21 at this point. Let's add a little insult to injury here. Westbrook. This is painful, and you'll see why right now, because the rim said, no, sorry, you're not going to be able to get this one in.
Look, like, the Clippers have more rim protection, like literal rim protection, than the Houston Rockets do.
All right, so the Clippers win this 120-105. As you just said, RJ, at times it felt even a little worse than that. So what's your takeaway seeing these Clippers dominate the Rockets at home?
My thing is this. The Rockets have the burden of proof, right? They have to prove to us that this lineup can work. And they're going to beat teams because not a lot of people are going to see them randomly. And it's one game here. But when you get into a 7-game series, if you can't consistently play defense, you can't consistently knock down shots. Now, look, we know that this is one game. We know James Harden is going to shoot the ball better than he will, today, or last night, excuse me. But ultimately, when I look at this Clipper team and the amount of depth that they have, when they have Morris and they have Shaman and they have Beverly, if you're going to go small against them, they have more talented smalls than you do.
So there's really 2 separate conversations to be had here. There's the conversation about the Rockets and what this unique style they're trying to play with is. And then there's the Clippers. And we're going to get a very interesting look at them because they get the Lakers on Sunday. Everybody, hopefully you're already aware, the Lakers play the Bucks tonight and then the Clippers on Sunday. Yes. And we will know a lot about the Western Conference when we go to sleep Sunday night.
And I stand by this. This is the Clippers to lose. They have the most talented team. They have a veteran coach. They have a coach that won a championship championship as their assistant coach that coached with LeBron. So they have a lot of competitive advantages over almost every single team in this league. And to me, it is the Clippers to lose.
Yeah, Kawhi looked pretty rested last night.
Oh, yeah, he's very rested. He's very rested. And I stand by this. He's coming off injury last year, and he had a long year. He should be able to rest some. Even Paul George is coming off shoulder surgery. So I know we talk about rest, but these guys are coming off legitimate injury, and now that they're back and healthy, it's going to be a problem.
Look, the reality of it is, if you're paying attention to the numbers, when they're all on the floor together, which doesn't happen often, they never lose.
They never lose.
The start of NFL free agency. Fellow future Hall of Famer Drew Brees weighed in yesterday with his opinion on what factors Brady is looking at in making his decision.
Well, I can't speak for Tom, but I know for me, being at this stage in my career, I just want to win. I think Tom has been a guy who's kind of been the model for all of us for a lot of years. I don't think any of this is about money for Tom. I think it's about winning another championship. I also think it's probably about feeling like he's in a situation where he's got all the pieces in place to do that.
So everyone is talking about Tom Brady and what he may do in the future, and we'll do it here with Neek and Bobby and Jeremy Fowler. Jeremy, where do we stand?
Greeny, I just spoke with sources on this. I was told the Titans believe that they have a pretty good chance in a head-to-head matchup with the Patriots to land Tom Brady. I'm also told that there's a mystery team, a third team that's firmly in the mix, all right? So cue the music. But the Titans right now, they still value Ryan Tannehill, but I'm told Tannehill wants a lot of money as a free agent. We're talking maybe $30 million a year, and he should because he earned it. Now, they're trying to deal with him, trying to deal with Brady at the same time, and they only have a few days to figure it out.
Let's start with the Patriots and the Titans, because the mystery team's a whole other thing. But what's your reaction to hearing that the Titans feel like they're in a really good spot here?
I mean, I think it's scary to walk like close to this abyss and not have a quarterback locked in, be it Tannehill or Brady. But I don't necessarily find the Titans to be that attractive of an option for Tom Brady, because you still have to get through, assuming that his most important thing to Tom Brady is winning a championship, you still have to at some point get through Kansas City and Baltimore. We're going to be tough teams next year. And I know the strength of the Titans team is that running game and improving defense. But it feels like the same sort of situation in New England, with the exception of, obviously, they have big weapons there and handing the ball to Henry. That takes some pressure off of Tom Brady. But I don't feel like this ensures that they're going to go to the Super Bowl next year. Not that any team would, but I would feel more comfortable sticking with the kind of the Belichick and Patriots model that we've seen so far for them getting back to the Super Bowl. And then it's also interesting to see him jumping from one team that beat him in the playoffs last year. It's a very Kevin Durant-esque, if you can't beat him, join him type of move.
And so it's interesting to me when I look at the Titans. Obviously, you have his buddy Mike Vrabel, who's the head coach. That sounds like it should be appealing. But it is a little dangerous for the Titans. I mean, this is trying to set up two prom dates and figure out which one is going to be the better option. And here's the issue. Like, this happened back in 2012. Dominic, you might know a little bit more about that than me.
No, not me.
Nice fly guy like yourself. But when you look at the Arizona Cardinals, they were trying to land Peyton Manning when he was coming out. They go all in on him. You don't get Peyton Manning. You know who your starting quarterbacks are that year? John Skelton, Ryan Lindley, Brian Hoyer, and Kevin Kopp. Exactly. And so if they don't get Ryan Tannehill and they lose out on Tom Brady, then you look at a team that's playing in the AFC Championship.
They fall back on Mariota at that point. I don't know what the move is.
You go begging to him. Exactly.
That's why maybe one of the least talked about but most important piece in all of this is timing. That we just went through a few months ago a thing where we were here doing specials about NBA free agency, and it was all about timing. Teams had to know, are we going to get our guy? And if not, we have to move on. Now, in that case, if you'll recall the way the NBA free agency worked out, they were allowed to start talking at 6 p.m. on a Sunday. By 6:05, 95% of the guys had teams, which is why I keep falling back on this. It doesn't seem possible to me that Tom Brady will not have at least a pretty good idea of what he's doing, and thus other teams will have a pretty good idea of it long before we get to Wednesday the 18th.
Yeah, and I think he's given some indications behind the scenes, but some of the teams I've talked to are operating under the assumption that they don't know when he's going to say it. He's on vacation, apparently. He's going on for the next week. So they got to figure out, you see Teddy Bridgewater, Phillip Rivers, some other options. I think some teams will settle on those guys because they can't wait this out.
If we assume that it's down between the Titans and the Patriots, as some people may assume, and we also know that he has a relationship with Vrabel, I can't imagine that he would set Mike Vrabel up to be left holding the bag. Like, maybe he's creating all this circus. And I think, Greeny, you said it a couple of weeks ago that you think Tom Brady already knows where he wants to go. I think that makes more sense. win. Because that gives the team that he's going to the best chance to make talent around them, and then it also puts everyone else in limbo. And maybe he'll leave the Patriots with nothing, or he'll leave some other teams, some competitors with nothing. But I can't imagine that the team that he plans to go to, or the team that has a head coach that he's a close personal friend with, that he'll leave them in the lurch with no information.
And you just look at that. Tom Brady's won 6 Super Bowls. He doesn't need the ego boost for teams chasing him for a week at the risk of then going to one of those teams, and then they have lost out on other free agents at key positions.
He doesn't need it, but he sort of seems to like it.
He's never done it.
And anyone else sort of get the impression, and I keep coming back to this, but you don't go sit at a nationally televised college basketball game next to Jimmy Fallon and then do Instagram Live with Dana White if you're trying to lay low, right? He's doing the opposite.
He's never
of
done
laying